Last year our family bought 140 acres of land off the grid in Australia. We are currently camping in and around our shed and dream of building a more sustainable and simple life. Over the last 8 months it's been warm enough to have a fire outdoors. However, winter is coming and it gets below zero here sometimes, so we needed to install an indoor wood heater. The shed gets extremely cold, so we grabbed this second-hand wood heater for $450, which was a bargain. And because we only have solar-powered fairy lights in the shed, this fire will also be another good source of light for us. That's my son Eli out there mowing the yard. We try to keep our lawns mowed regularly because we live in a bush fire prone area, and we just need to make sure that we're prepared. We have massive amounts of long dry grass all over the property, and also old trees that probably need getting rid of as well. We will most likely use them for firewood. This fence line that is going over now, we just recently planted lots and lots of trees here, so new seedlings, hopefully they'll survive the winter. This is also a great space for all our friends to camp. We also installed a little bit of fiberglass insulation to try to keep the heat inside the shed. Paul's just putting the fire bricks in the bottom of the wood heater. The reason that you need the fire bricks is to make sure your fireplace lasts for many years. It also actually makes your fireplace hotter and keeps the radiating heat. Our first fire in the shed, it actually did a great job of heating up the shed. Apparently the reason why we experience such internal relaxation when we're watching a fire is because our mind is drawn to the flames, and the longer this happens, the more we let go of the jumble of everyday concerns. In this non-distracted, peaceful state, anxieties are naturally reduced. There is nothing quite like a glowing fireplace to provide a warm, relaxing and romantic atmosphere. On a cold winter's evening, there are few things more inviting than a roaring fireplace, the flickering flames that draw us and capture our attention. And look, our chimney is working great as well. So our next big project that we have is getting another larger water tank to catch more rainwater, because we would like to install a septic system and a flushing toilet, but for that we're going to need a lot more water. We use solar and wind turbine power mostly, but we do need to resort to the generator at times as well. It's so noisy. It would be so much better if we had a bigger wind turbine, more solar panels and a bigger battery to store the power. Right now we have a 12 volt battery We have a mini fridge hooked up and we charge the phones and things like that, but the system does switch itself off at times, which isn't good when you have to keep things frozen. This is where we had originally put up the wind turbine, but we're moving it to the back of the shed to try to reduce the length of the wires to the battery. Paul's dad, Rod, is cutting all the tensioners here on the brackets to bring the wind turbine down. One of the best things about being off the grid is that instead of staying inside watching TV, we usually go for a walk or read a book or have a conversation with our family. It's becoming more and more important to use renewable energy resources that we know that we have an unlimited supply of, or that can be replaced quickly through the normal cycles of nature. So they're just trying to find a level place to put the wind turbine. Solar and wind power are inexhaustible. And now they're just marking where the holes need to be drilled. To drill into cement, you need to use a hammer drill. The bottom of the wind turbine pole will be bolted to the cement. So they're just laying the wind turbine down so that they can pre-drill the holes for the bolts. Humans have actually been using wind power since the 7th century. And the first electricity generating wind turbine was a battery charging machine which was installed by a Scottish guy to light his holiday home in Scotland. And that was in 1887. Wind turbines provide a clean energy source. They emit no greenhouse gases and no waste products. The only problem with wind turbines, though, is that the energy harnessed is intermittent. So its availability is basically based on whether the wind is blowing or not. So I guess it's not a reliable source of energy, but when we use it with our solar panels, it seems to work well. During the night time when the solar panels aren't bringing in any power, then the wind turbine can be. So the conduit here that's going from the trench from the wind turbine and the solar panels into the battery inside the shed is to protect all the electrical wiring. So Rod here is using a level to keep the wind turbine pole straight, and Paul is attaching the tensioners, which are also anchored into the cement. The wire that we've used here as well is just wire that we found left on the property when we bought it. So we've been upcycling as well. So they've used an elbow, which is a pipe fitting installed between the two lengths of pipe or tubing to allow for the change in direction. And this has all been glued up just using some PVC glue. And here are the solar panels that we're using at the moment as well. So all the electrical wires are joined together and go through to the shed. This watt meter and power analyzer says that our amp is peaking at about 13 amps. So let's see how it works.